Alright, so in March I read a total of 7 books, but they're mainly library books because I'm trying to get through all those that I already have. So I don't have them all here in copy except for about 2, so sorry. So the first book I read was Smoke and Bone by Leah Bardugo. Now this book is a trilogy. It's really good. It's about this girl who secretly has powers and she doesn't know about it, and they're called Grishas. And but the thing is, she apparently is the sun summoner, and she's like the big honcho in the Grisha part of the world, and she has to go against the Darkling, who is pretty much trying to destroy the world. And so their entire book's about that. The third book comes out in June and I pre-ordered it, so I'm super excited about that. I read Smoke and Bone and Siege and Storm. Both of these are read in April, but I think I read this one about a couple weeks later because I wasn't really getting into it. I read about halfway through and I was like, what's gonna happen? But it was really good. I recommend picking this series up. If you do want to read them all and marathon them, I would wait till June though, because the third one is coming out soon, so just wait for that. So the next book I had was a book that I was asked to review, and that was Cry of the Sea by D.G. Driver. Now this book, it was pretty good. It was about this girl who has parents that are pretty like in saving the world and like all the environment stuff, and one day her father and her go out to the sea, and there's these mermaids there, and they end up saving one, but 2 of them dies, and they take one of the mermaids and takes it to the aquarium that's down the street, and they take care of it. But then there's a problem. People are trying to find these mermaids, and everyone's like freaking out because the video that they accidentally took got leaked online, and so everyone is freaking out about that there's actual mermaids in this world. And it's like this big whole thing about like government hiding secrets about mermaids, and it was really good. I would really recommend picking this up if you want like a realistic mermaid story, because this one was pretty realistic. It wasn't like the mermaid and the girl fell in love and they had to like fight against their love and all that stuff. So yeah, I would recommend that if you don't want to read like a love story about mermaids, but like what you think the world would actually do if mermaids did exist, because that's pretty much what this book was about. So the next 2 books that I read was pretty much what I've already talked about on this channel, and that was Written in Red and Murder of the Crows by Anne Bishop. So the main girl is someone who like escapes, and she finds some shapeshifters and starts to live with them, and they're like, this girl seems kind of up. But it was really good. I would recommend picking it up if you want to read some new adult books. Like the second one, Murder of the Crows, just came out in March. So I was really excited that I picked it up, and I think the third one's coming out next March. I've heard it's a trilogy, which is really odd because there's not usually like adult trilogies. There's usually like 10 books in an adult series, so it was just really interesting to hear that there's a trilogy in this adult series. But if you do want to know more about it, I did make a video reviewing Written in Red, and I didn't talk about Murder of Crows. There's nothing really spoiler about Murder of Crows at all. I gave both books 5 stars because I really enjoyed them, and I really wanted to pick up more adult books, but I couldn't find any that were sort of in the same genre because I really am into shapeshifting right now for some reason. The next book I read was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jinya Han. This book has been talked about a lot on BookTube and through the book community because I am on a book blog and people are talking about this non-stop. It was really good. It was cute. I really recommend it. It's about this girl who writes 5 letters, I think, to boys that she's loved before. Hence the title. So she writes these 5 letters to these boys that she loves, and they accidentally get sent out, and we don't find out why they got sent out. So it's about the main character, and she is going around trying to figure out what's going on with these boys that she's loved before. One of the main boys that got it was Josh. It was her sister's ex-boyfriend, and that she liked him before her sister did. And so that was kind of like, ooh, what's gonna happen? I was kind of on Team Josh for a little while, but then there's another character named Peter, and he got a love letter too, and they were just super cute together, and you should just pick up this book because it was really cute. And I would it's like a good sunny day read, or even like a rainy day read where you just want to stay inside and be like, oh, it was so cute. I know this is gonna be a series, so I really want to know what's gonna happen next because I feel like it pretty much got wrapped up, unless it's gonna be like their next year in high school and what's gonna go on. So I don't know. We'll see what goes on. So the final book I read this month was Illusion by Claudia Gable. Now this book was really good. I think I've talked about it before on this channel, but it was in like a haul or my TBR for last month, and it was really, the book was really good. It kind of reminded me of Under the Never Sky and Across the Universe, kind of like a merge of it. It kind of had like the technology of Under the Sky, but it had the love aspect Across the Universe and sort of the government aspect. It was about this girl who father created this world that you go through. It's pretty much like another world that you can go to get out of the world. So that's what it would kind of remind me of Under the Sky with their eyeglass or whatever. But it was pretty much ruining their lives at one point. Like, people were dying and people were getting sucked in and being lost, and her father was one of them who died through the system. Her best friend ends up taking up the company, and they like kind of ruin it, and people are like freaking out and everyone's getting lost, and it's pretty much a journey of figuring out what's wrong with the system and how to like fix it. But at the end, it was pretty much a cliffhanger, and I never saw on Goodreads if there's going to be another book. I really hope there is. It feels like it's going to be like a series. But I would recommend picking it up if you want another sci-fi / futuristic kind of read, because it was like a good read. I think I gave it like 4 stars on Goodreads. And if you ever want to know about what I rate my books in my wrap-ups, I also write reviews for pretty much all the books I've read, unless I don't really feel like reviewing like series. Like, I'll review the first book and they'll be like, I don't really need to review like the second and the third and the fourth. But that's pretty much all the books I read in March. They were all really good. I would recommend picking up any of them if any of them sounded really interesting, because I did enjoy pretty much all the books I read this month. Alright, here's the portion where I do my April TBR. Now, I've already read about 5 books already this month, considering it's already May 12th, and I'm pretty behind on this thing. So, the first book I read was 45 Pounds More or Less by K.A. Barson. This book is about a girl who is, I think, 17, and she is a size 17 apparently, and she gets invited to be the maid of honor in her aunt's wedding, and she feels like she needs to lose 45 pounds more or less. Woo! And so this book is about her journey and trying to figure out how to lose weight. I thought it was really interesting to read, considering I am one of the other people in this world who is a maid of honor at my sister's wedding, and I'm trying to lose weight, and so I really wanted to see what their mindset was, and it was good. It was one of those books where it's like, at the end it's like, now I love myself, but I will still keep doing what I'm doing, so I love myself even more. You know, like, I mean, it was a really good message. I really liked it. I was hoping for a little bit more, but I mean, you should love yourself always, even no matter what size you are. But I don't know. I probably should, if I wanted something more like what I'm going through, I'd be like, I need to read a life book and not a young adult book. But it was really good. I think I gave it like 4 stars for this contemporary read. I do rate contemporary different than like other series like fantasy or sci-fi, but I would recommend picking this up if you do want to read some cute contemporary novel. It wasn't really, it was more of a finding yourself book, and I really like those. I would recommend getting it if you want to read something that's like light and you can read it quickly. I think I read it in like 2 or 3 hours. It's not that long. It's like probably like 200 pages. So the next books I've already read is part of a 5-book series, and that series is Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This series is so good. I've been reading it non-stop. I'm on book 4 right now, and I'm pretty much done. I've been waiting to finish it though, because I'm going to go to the library and pick up the last book. But this series consists of Half-Blood, Pure, Deity, I think, Deity? I don't know. I'm in college. I should know how to speak words. And then Apollyon. I'm pretty much 281 pages into this book. I really enjoyed this series. It is so good. It's about this girl, Alex, who is a half-blood. And that means that a pure and a mortal got together and had a baby. Now, and half-bloods are kind of taboo. They aren't treated horrible. Like, if you were a high school student, you weren't really treated that horrible. But if you were someone who was against the government and the gods, then you were treated horrible. You had masters, and you were under this elixir that caused you to just be like... And so it's a journey about this girl named Alex, and she finds out that she is an Apollyon, and that means that a pure and a half-blood came together and made her. So that was a pretty good story to read. It's the journey of her figuring out what to do with her new status. So Apollyon is pretty much someone who has like the elements, and they can like throw fire and wind and like crush the earth and stuff like that. It finds out that she is not the only Apollyon. She's the second Apollyon, and the first is this guy named Seth, who is really arrogant, but you tend to love him. By about the 3rd book, they start to hit it on, and they're kind of good friends. But it ends up that once she awakens, when she turns 18, that means that she fully grows all her powers. He will end up sucking all her powers out of her and pretty much making her a vegetable, and he will become the god killer, and that means that he can kill gods, obviously, and that's a threat to everyone. There was never supposed to be 2 Apollyons on the earth at the same time, and so for a while they're trying to figure out what to do with Alex and what's going to happen when she awakens. And it's just like their journey, and it's 5 books. See, I have the first 4. I would recommend picking the series up if you really enjoy paranormal and that kind of god sense in the books. They are addicting. I've read them all in about 4 days, and just pick it up. Pick them up. They're so good. This is like one of the recommendations that I would give to anyone, and to anyone who enjoys like paranormal books, because it is addicting. Let me tell you, I am in love. If I bought this series, I would probably reread it at some point. That's how good it is. Alright, so I don't really know what I want to read this month. I'm gonna go to the library right after this video, so I might pick up some other books that I really want to read. But I do have a few that I have in mind. Now, TBRs are kind of iffy with me because I usually end up doing like 1 or 2 for my TBR, maybe, and then I just see other books at the library or at the bookstore, and I'm like, oh, I must read that. That's coming out. People have talked about that. I want to read that. And so I'll just pick a few that I picked up recently from the bookstore or the library that sound really good that I might pick up. But if not, next month's wrap up will be different probably. So the first thing I picked up at the library was this graphic novel, and it's called Anya's Ghost by Vera Brosgol. Now it's really cute. It's about this girl who is kind of a loner, and she ends up finding a ghost at the bottom of a well, and they become friends, and it's just their story. And it sounds really good. It's short. It's only $10 if you can find it anywhere, but I saw it was $8 online, so I don't know. Pick it up. The next books I want to talk about that I have talked about before are Scarlet and Cress. I have not read these yet, but I read Cinder about a couple years ago, probably my freshman year in college, and it was really good. I would recommend picking up any books in the series. I heard they're fantastic. I just got this one in the mail just recently, and right in the middle when I was about to film this, so that was great timing, so I could show it off, because I was gonna be like, but I don't have Scarlet yet. Next book is Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. Alright, this book is pretty much like The Hunger Games, but not really. It's like a twist. There's a plague, and the main girl's trying to figure out to win the plague cure to give to her brother, and I heard it's kind of like a love aspect in it, possibly, and I don't know, it sounds like The Hunger Games, and I really enjoyed The Hunger Games, so I don't know. I heard it's different though, so let's see what it's like. Next book I picked up was The Archive by Victoria Schwab. I've heard this book is really good. I know there's a love aspect in it. I know I always look for love aspects, so I like to let people know that there is a love aspect in the books, and so I've heard this book is pretty good. I don't really know what it's about. I think the girl is a ghost keeper or something like that. I have no idea, but I know there's another book already out. I'm not completely sure if it's a duology or a trilogy, but I will get into that soon. So the next book I picked up was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I've heard this book is really good. This book is so gorgeous. Like, look at that, and then the inside like that, and then if you take the dust jacket off, it has this on it, which is completely insane. This is a really amazing book, and whoever designed this is like my kind of person, because this is something that I would design personally, because I am a designer. So that was just like a beautiful book to pick up if you want to read anything beautiful. I'm sure the inside is just as beautiful, because Morgan Matson is a really great author, so I would recommend picking this up also. So that's pretty much all I want to read this month, and they are all pretty good picks. I would get any of them if you really want to read, if any of them sound good, and let me know if you have read any of them, which ones I should pick up first. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Scarlet and Cress, but I feel like I'm going to finish this book, and then I'm going to pick up the 5th one, and that's going to be my pretty much the next week or the next few days of my life is going to be this series. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and if you really enjoyed this, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I am still pretty new, so I have no idea what I'm doing pretty much still, and yeah, bye!